Hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. We are taking each evolution one at a time because there's just too many to do and compile into one episode, and they're all so vastly different. So today, of the 8, which is a lot, we're looking at Jolteon. I do think it's kind of interesting sometimes to come across these where like it has no description, because this is like the 3rd time. I don't know, it's just I'm so used to seeing his little dumb description saying, "Oh, I think it's cool," and it's not. So I don't know, it's crazy to me. So Sparky is is from the anime, which is, you know, the Eevee brothers. That's what the electric guy used. You're gonna know that if you play Pokemon Go, because that was a cool little Easter egg they threw in. But in general, I think Sparky is a crap nickname. And also, I was 99% sure of this, but I just checked. Sparky is also the name of Richie's Pikachu. So they had one bad idea, and it was so bad that they used it twice because they didn't know it was bad. But in general, I don't like it. It's got the anime nod, which is cool, but in retrospect, it becomes less cool when you realize it's applicable to 2 different Pokemon, and yeah. So, I don't know. It's on you. Jules is going to be your generic electric type nickname that you're going to see a bunch. Go ahead, mark that off the bingo card. Overcharge is okay. I'm unsure how I feel about it, but considering everything else on here, which is all terrible, that one's at least like maybe a 4 out of 10, opposed to a 0 or a -1. I can go off the scale if I want. It's my show. Is that why? I saw this on the that Reddit thing. I don't know why I keep clicking on it. On the Reddit where it's like, oh, what do you name your Pokemon? Edition numbered whatever, that has been in a lot of the videos. I didn't get it. I thought it was just because it was a funny word and that was it. But apparently Rick and Morty. I don't Rick and Morty. I don't care about it. I think it's overrated. I think Terabyte might be a little bit better if your guy knows Thunderfang. Again, I'm not sure there's an electric type Pokemon with strong jaw, but if you want to do that, that could, if that's even possible, then that fits a little bit better. But it's okay, I guess. Blitzkrieg is your another generic electric type nickname that you're going to see for just about 5 billion Pokemon. If you Wonder Trade and it was just electric Pokemon, I guarantee you 5 million of them would be named Blitzkrieg. AC/DC we saw in the previous episode. That was my recommended one for Electivire. I still think Electivire is the top choice for that, primarily because of the lightning imagery on its fur. But I guess if you wanted to, you could use it for Jolteon or other electric types as well. But I still think it fits Electivire best. Also kind of confused that they didn't mention the band at all. They just explained what AC/DC means. Alright, so I'm going to acknowledge this, because just in case we don't see the Reddit post, which maybe I'll go out of my way for it, I don't know. Because when I bring up that Reddit post, I only bring up the look at the relevant Pokemon, because I know I'm going to be seeing it 8 times, so I don't feel the need to go over it over and over. One of them was the planet thematic, which we saw Eevee is Pluto and Vaporeon is Neptune. I don't remember what it was for Jolteon, but personally, I think Jupiter would be the better option for Jolteon. That sentence seems wrong. Because, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a very, very long time since I was in school. I'm pretty sure, like, Jupiter is mostly composed of, like, hurricanes and thunderstorms and stuff like that. Like, the atmosphere is too tense, and I want to say I remember something like that. It's been over 10 years for me, so forgive me if my information is incorrect, but that's kind of my reason on it, is I feel like that would fit. I think they said, like, well, I don't remember what it was, but regardless, there's a planet thematic with the evolutions that is on Reddit, and I like it, and I think Jupiter's a good choice for Jolteon. You know, when I started this recording, I was busy thinking to myself, we're not going to be seeing any more Mizu, thank God. But I imagine we'll be seeing a bunch of Tesla. And instead they decided to Mizu it in stupid electric. Like, why? Also, for the sake of acknowledging it, I don't really care. but I imagine Zeus is going to be a popular choice. We're also probably going to bring up Thor, because you're probably going to see that. Lightning gods, blah, blah, blah. Nothing worth talking about. Oh, look, there's Tesla. Sparkman, pretty sure it's a Mega Man boss. If not, it sounds like. I just imagine if you put the word man at the end of any word, it can become a Mega Man boss, so I'm just going to believe that this is. Or maybe I'm thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh! Elemental Hero Sparkman? Maybe that's why? Is Yu-Gi-Oh! Copying off of Mega Man? I gotta be real. I'm super disappointed that when they're trying to recommend nicknames and they don't even have suggestions of their own, that they link the fucking Tumblr. And this post is dated, like, 2016, so it's fairly recent. But, like, as long as I've been doing this, I've always gone to Pokemon.net first, because there's more options, and the options are less shit. So it kind of makes me sad to realize that people would be like, you know, instead of having a hamburger, what if we just gave you 2 pieces of bread and, like, a big shit in the middle, and you can eat that instead? Like, why would you give someone the worst option? I don't understand. Okay, so we've got a bunch of suggestions just like we did last time. Basically all of these are crap. I'm honest, I don't mind Nitro, because I just kind of like the sound of the word Nitro. I just don't think it really fits Jolteon at all. Like, I think of 2 things. I think of Nitro boxes that explode, Nitro Glycerin, you know, and then I think of Nitro Boost, like in racing games, like Cruisin', for instance. And I feel like if you wanted to take either one of those directions, you wouldn't pick an electric type. Like, the closest you've got is if you wanted Nitro Boost, then that at least works for a fast Pokemon, but I still don't think it fits Jolteon, like, at all. And admittedly, I do see my thing, which I was going to save to the end, but whatever. I figured just for the sake of showing off 22 nicknames all at once, we could at least show this. Mine's 9V. That's the one I personally use, and that's just, I don't know, it kind of came from WarioWare, because I just like the name. I don't care for the character at all. I was just like, it's just a good sounding name, and I didn't have any good suggestions for Jolteon, so I just kind of threw it on there and just called it a day, and that was it. Okay, so we've reached the bottom. Pokemon Go yet again takes up a good portion of it. I accidentally clicked on this just because I have the habit of clicking on everything I see, because that's the way the show works. But I'm going to actually go out of my way a little bit and go try and find that Reddit post that we've seen in both Vaporeon and Eevee, just because I want to look at it, and I want to see what they suggested for Jolteon, and also because it'll show me what the planet thing that guy originally had in mind was. Okay, so he went with Mercury, so there's the reasoning behind that and all that. But this is that one comment I was talking about earlier. Now, I don't particularly care for this nickname, but I'm going to acknowledge it just because of the idea behind it. I haven't played Chrono Trigger. I know it's a really popular game and all that. That's fine. I'm just not super big on JRPGs. Funny, right? Here I am talking about Pokemon. But I like the idea that he goes with Giga Shock because it's based after an attack that a character uses. And there are some things like that that might sound good, that might work for, like, a nickname or something like that. Like, I remember during the Alakazam episode, one of the nickname suggestions was Flipendo, which is a Harry Potter spell, so that's also an attack you can use in just about every single Harry Potter game, too. But if you wanted to take an attack route from a different game, that could work. It's very open-ended, so you're going to have to use your own mind and just think of stuff, but it's an idea. And I figured people would care about Chrono Trigger. Yeah, see, this guy's got his just named Squanchy, but he doesn't say why. And I just assumed it was his favorite because it was just a funny word, and that was it. Okay, ending over here, just for the sake of the Jolteon imagery, and you're not confused like, why are we looking at Vaporeon? So, checking the spreadsheet before we end things off. Rajin, I kind of expect to see a bunch of times, and I'm kind of only really acknowledging it just because I'm pretty sure that's what Raiden from Mortal Kombat is slightly based off of, to some degree, or something like that. So that's kind of just it, but I expect to see these all the time. There's your Topaz for the Jewel thematic, where Eevee was Diamond, and then Vaporeon was Sapphire, or if you wanted, it could also be other things that I forgot. Pearl was one of them. My mind says Opal because of Breath of the Wild, even though I know for a fact that wasn't the option. And that's about it. There's not too much on here that's interesting. So Jolteon is weird, where I do think that there really isn't any good suggestions for it. Like, it wasn't infuriating like Vaporeon, thank God, but there wasn't really anything standoutish. So I'm gonna go over the stuff that I have written down, which we already went over the Jewel thematic, so that cuts that one off the list. And I remember Prince Boo, when he did, I think it was Red as well, he had a Jolteon and he named his Mullet. I think it's like professional in the front, party in the back, or something like that. And it's, just a joke because of how Jolteon's little spiky bits look and all that. So that was what he named his. And then I have Jumpstart written down. So I'm guessing at some point when looking through nicknames, I just saw someone name their Jolteon Jumpstart, and I said, yeah, that's okay. So if you wanted to use that, that works. You could apply it probably just to any electric type you wanted, if that's your dig. But yeah, and then the one I went with was just 9-Volt, because I just like the name, and Jolteon didn't have a good nickname, so I just decided, yeah, you're 9-Volt now, deal with it. And I think it's okay. Yeah, that's about it. There's not too much going on or interesting about it, but like yeah, it's just there and that's it. So provide your ideas and nicknames for Jolteon or anything that you think would be of worth. I am less angry this episode, as you can hear. And yeah, leave them in the comments below and make good Jolteon nicknames.